I've studied thousands of successful entrepreneurs, world leaders, and world-class athletes like Napoleon, Julius Caesar, Thomas Edison, Andrew Carnegie, and Usain Bolt. And here's one crazy thing I found. They all do this one dumb thing that allows them to tap into the so-called willpower muscle. The part of the brain that decides if you scroll on TikTok for hours or take aggressive action and conquer the world. And they've hacked it to give them an unfair advantage by performing this one daily exercise that literally trains the willpower muscle to grow larger and stronger. And by doing so, they are able to make procrastination impossible. But it looks pretty dumb. But if done correctly, it will allow you to be hyper-focused on your tasks and get the maximum out of every single hour of the day. If you take a look at how elite level athletes behave, you will notice that all of them have a powerful ability to say no to things that a normal person finds it extremely difficult to say no to. For example, if you put a delicious piece of cake in front of an elite athlete, it's extremely easy for them, almost natural, to not eat the cake. It's easy for them to say no to things like drinking, smoking, staying up late, or partying, simply because their willpower muscle is strong. And they strengthen that willpower muscle with this dumb thing that I'm going to show you in a bit. This willpower muscle of your brain is actually a specific area in the middle of your brain called the basal ganglia, and it's responsible for all voluntary movement. It is responsible for you picking your phone up and scrolling on Instagram for hours. It is responsible for you procrastinating and putting your tasks off constantly, and it is also responsible for you sitting down and being hyper-focused on your work for 8 hours with no distractions. But here's a dumb way you can train that muscle to achieve insane focus and make procrastination impossible, and work for hours without being distracted, all without using more stimulants, spending hundreds of dollars in supplements, or spending a single minute meditating. The willpower muscle, aka the basal ganglia, will get stronger every time you do a no-go rep. What is a no-go rep? This is an exercise that the most elite performers of the world do. From neuroscientists like Andrew Huberman, world-class entrepreneurs like Alex Hormozi, to even some of the top 0.1% disciplined men like David Goggins. And here's how you can do it too. A no-go rep is every time you deliberately avoid doing something you would otherwise impulsively or automatically do. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're in that table I explained previously, sitting in front of a delicious piece of cake. As you're sitting there, talking with your friends, you have the automatic impulse to grab a piece of that cake and eat it. Or another more relevant example is, let's say you're trying to focus on one specific task. Let's say you're trying to write copy, or let's say you're trying to script an ad, a video. And while you're trying to enter that focus state, while you press your timer to enter the focus block, then you find yourself ending up on Slack, Discord, Stripe, Gmail, and you find yourself doing 15 other unrelated tasks to your one task you're trying to focus on. As a result, the main goal you have, the main task you have at hand, takes you 10 times longer to complete. But here's when things become interesting. When you deliberately stop yourself and say, no, I am not going to eat that cake, or no, I am not going to go on Slack or Discord or Stripe, you've done a no-go rep for the willpower muscle. It works in the exact same way like doing a rep for your bicep curls. You do one repetition of the exercise that is going to make your biceps stronger and bigger. So the question is, how do you implement the no-go reps daily in a more structured way so that you can make the willpower muscle stronger and you can make procrastination impossible? There are 3 steps you need to follow in order to maximize your willpower and eliminate procrastination. And you might be wondering, what exactly is going to happen after you follow those 3 steps? Well, it is going to allow you to get an insane amount of work done in significantly less time by switching the default mode of your brain from procrastination to aggressive action. And you'll be able to do this without effort and without depending on stimulants. So here's how you do the steps. Step number 1 is, in a document or a sheet like this, write down 5 things you find yourself doing automatically throughout the day. A few of the most destructive habits I've found most of my clients struggle with in the beginning are things like checking your phone while trying to focus on one task. Instead of focusing on one task, you end up opening Slack, WhatsApp, or email, or Stripe, the same thing that I explained before. But it could also be something like biting your nails, which is pretty trivial. It can also be something like scratching your head, smoking, or vaping. So simply said, the first step is you identify those impulses and write them down. The second step is that once everything is written down and you have full clarity on the things that are holding you back, you want to start saying no every time you find yourself thinking about doing that action, which is simply doing a no-go rep. So every time you find yourself, again, the similar example as before, you're trying to focus on that one specific thing, which is writing copy, scripting an ad, scripting a video, like doing a call review for one of your CSMs. Every time you find yourself opening a new tab or finding yourself ending up on other unrelated tasks, then deliberately refrain from doing that particular thing. So it's the ability to actually press on the brake and stop yourself from doing the thing that is going to actually train that willpower muscle to get stronger. And as a result of doing so, you will have stronger willpower, more willpower. And the third step is every week for 4 weeks, you add 5 extra no-goes on top of the things you've been already avoiding so far until you end up with around 20 no-go reps total per day. And from there on, you just want to maintain around 20 no-go reps per day every single day. Now, why do I say every single day? Because it's super important to do the no-go reps every day, because the willpower muscle is a muscle that needs to be trained every single day if you want to make procrastination impossible. Now, you're probably like, okay, what is my life? What is my day going to look like after I've implemented those 3 steps? What am I going to feel like? What is my work going to feel like after I've successfully implemented those 3 steps and I've been following them for around a month? You'll be able to start your tasks without struggling to enter flow state. You'll be able to focus for many hours, 8 to 10 hours in it without being distracted, and you'll be able to be more deliberate and control where your focus goes. As a result of that, you'll be able to get an amount of work done that you would otherwise need twice or 3 times the amount of time. So for example, you'll be able to get, let's say, 1 month's worth of work done in a week. Why? Because you're more deliberate on where your focus goes, and you're able to make procrastination impossible just because you control what you're doing in the day. You control distractions, you control where your focus goes, and you just do the thing that matters. You'll be able to control your monkey brain, and every time you find yourself deviating from your task, what would before seem difficult and a distraction, you can now completely eliminate. You can now completely eliminate procrastination and take aggressive action to be able to conquer your field, to be able to conquer the world, essentially. The same exact way Napoleon did, Usain Bolt did, all of those high performers that have achieved great efforts, great results in their particular field. It is because they are not procrastinators and they take aggressive action by having immense willpower. Now, if you do this exercise, I promise you will get more stuff done in less time, and you'll simply make it almost impossible for yourself to procrastinate. Now, if you've scaled your business and you're struggling with low energy, poor sleep, and a lot of stress, and you're getting easily distracted, then I can help you unlock superhuman energy and performance with my personalized biohacking protocol. So if you're interested in working together and seeing how it works, then click the link below, book a call, and I'll see you there.